There we go. Hello, everyone watching. And once again, if you are watching live, thank you so much. I'll be reading your comments as they pop up. If you are not watching this live, I will be putting links in the comments after I'm done being live for like shopping and stuff and whatever and stuff like that there. Anywho, I wanted to, oh God. Whew. Ever since they discontinued my conditioner, I've not been able to do a thing with my hair. Hold on a moment. When in doubt, hat. Artemis. And yes, Artemis, because I was just getting off of Reddit where I need to stop spending time. And a couple of us were talking about episodes where Artemis was unfairly bullied. And I just like Artemis, so Artemis. I have a Luna hat somewhere, but I think I put it in the wash, so Artemis. I know it doesn't quite go with Black Lady, but we'll work with it. And yes, I'm aware of what's happening with the text. Camera setting. Work with me. So anywho, I have been wanting to do this video for a long time, and just every time I wanted to do the video, I would either forget or life would kind of just happen, but I don't think I'm in any danger of that happening at the moment. So this is a PSA. This is a PSA that I'm going to be sharing for the rest of my life, or however long this is going to be on YouTube, whatever happens. I know a lot of you out there are routinely brought in by different sales, different promises, all sorts of stuff. I've been down this path too, a lot, okay? But as somebody who cares about you, even if this is going to be at the expense of anything I could have made money off of with my affiliate links, which isn't as much as you think, I'm begging you, for as long as you live, please, please skip Black Friday. Pretty please. Now, of course, I have a lot of reasons why I don't do Black Friday, and I'm never doing Black Friday ever again, as long as I live. If you have social media, I'm not going to bog you down with it. You know about the ethical stuff. You know that a lot of retail stores think it's really cute and funny to work their employees almost to the brink of death, in some cases to the brink of death, on Black Friday. They think it's really funny to take people away from Thanksgiving dinner and make them work overnight so that they can be there at 4 o'clock in the morning when people lose their ever-loving minds over Black Friday. That's not ethical. I don't believe in that. And it's not funny and it's not cute. And on a personal side note, my mom actually worked with somebody who passed away while on the clock at Walmart. Left him in the freezer case for like a full day in the milk section. Nobody cared to get him out because Black Friday. And then when they pulled his carcass out, they docked his pay. And the same day that they sent the sympathy card on the Walmart website for him, his job was already up. So I have like no chill for the whole working Black Friday thing. It's just not ethical. The other thing, of course, that I've alluded to is that it is incredibly dangerous. I once worked a Black Friday. Once upon a time back in 2007, this is not going to be part of the story I'm going to tell you though, but I'll tell you anyway. Back in 2007, I worked a Black Friday. It was the first, last, and only Black Friday I've ever worked in my life. It was at a school supply store where I stupidly thought I was safe. I was not. I grossly misjudged how much people really value Ticonderoga No. 2 pencils. Yes, I said that wrong on purpose because screw you. I always like my pencils with patterns. Thank you. Those were also No. 2 pencils. Please stop yelling at kids about what pattern is on their pencils. It's just a pencil. They're all No. 2. The only time I ever worked a Black Friday, I had a lady. She was about 1,000 years old. You know, Helios's age. And she had a little red wagon with her. and I should have paid attention, but it's Black Friday, so of course I'm not going to pay attention, because I had a bunch of Karens and Kevins screaming at me. So keep in mind, I was selling school supplies. She worked with one of the parochial schools in the area. I knew her. I thought we were friends. I was wrong. She comes up to the counter. She has a $400 purchase. And I ring up her totals, and I print out the tax-free receipt because it's a parochial school. They don't pay sales tax. And I say, okay, your total comes out to $400 on the dot. And she says, that's wonderful. That's exactly what I budgeted out. And I didn't notice that the little red wagon had a blanket. So she pulls back this old crocheted blanket, and she had $400 in pennies. And then as I'm counting the pennies, because my boss told me I had to count the pennies, I can't take her word for it, because we had people who would say they had, X amount of dollars in pennies, but it's like there's a brick inside the jar and the pennies go around it. So we want to make sure there's really $400 of pennies. So I have to count $400 of pennies. By the way, it takes 100 pennies to make a dollar, for those of you watching this in the future after pennies go extinct, which is today. While I'm counting the pennies, the power went out. And there was a line behind her. Never again. But employee safety is not the only reason why I'm telling you never to do Black Friday. This is going to be a Sailor Moon story, I promise. The reason why I don't want you guys doing Black Friday for the rest of your life is because I don't want you to be where I was, not on that fateful day in 2007. Oh no. I don't want you to be where I was back in 2000, 7 years prior. See, I saw the commercial for this today, and that's what triggered me to do this video that I've been forgetting to do for years. And the commercial said that my local Walmart, this is not the nationwide Walmart, my local Walmart is going to do multiple Black Friday sales. And there's a grocery store that is specific to my region that's also doing more than one Black Friday sale. And this is so dumb, as we are coming off of the heels of people not being able to feed themselves, loss of food stamps and all that. Now you choose to be greedy. I can't. I just can't even with this. And then a friend of mine, a couple states away, told me that there's a store near them doing multiple Black Friday sales, and I got PTSD triggered. And I can say that because I was diagnosed with it. And the reason why is because back in 2000, we had 6 weeks of Black Friday. 6 whole weeks of Black Friday. And this is where we're going to come back into the Sailor Moon part of the story, because she is super much a part of this story. So I know a lot of you know I love collecting dolls, and I am crazy for Sailor Moon dolls the most. 2000 was an interesting time because this was peak Irwin. At this point, they were in their second year of the pretty face Sailor Moon dolls instead of the frog face dolls, which I actually still collect and I very much love, and I will still stick up for because I don't see any other Sailor Moon fan doing that ever. Hey, they had a lot of villains. I will stick up for that. But anywho, everyone loves the pretty face dolls. And 2000 is when we got a second wave of pretty face dolls. So we didn't just have the inners anymore. Now we had the outers too. We had Pluto. We had, more importantly, Pluto with a correct outfit, because the first Irwin doll was a frog face and a silver dress. This was Pluto in her proper black uniform. Gorgeous to boot. I have her. Very lucky. So we got Pluto with the time key. We got Sailor Uranus with a Phyllis Diller haircut. We got Sailor Neptune with these gorgeous, Christmassy, just jungle green hair. We got Sailor Saturn towards the end of this, but she would be collectors only, so I do have one used. Good luck with her. Oh, hi, Angel. How you doing? I want a Sailor Venus pretty doll and Chibiusa, but nowhere or no money for it. I know that your struggle. I'm missing a Super Sailor Moon from this set, and I don't feel like paying a few $1,000s for a Super Sailor Moon. I really like food about as much as Usagi. But we had Saturn collectors only. We would get Super Sailor Moon collectors only. That's the only pretty face that I'm missing outside of the outers for the 6-inch set. We got Mini Moon. You could either buy her separately or with Wicked Lady or with Usagi Serena in an outfit she never wore in the TV show with this yellow ascot. I do have that one. She was a Toys R Us exclusive. And then Tuxedo Mask, of course. And this was freaking awesome. And this was also an era where Irwin gave us the Cutie Moon rod. I have it over there somewhere. I need to put new batteries in. Luna P, again, new batteries. She's over there. And the Luna P like opens up into a jewelry box, but she's super cute. And then they gave us like a couple of accessories here. I love Tubulosa the most. Same. I love Sailor Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. Highly recommend the Codename Sailor V manga. That made me a big, big fan of Monocle. Oh my god. And Artemis. Anywho. So like, Irwin was really kicking ass at this point in time, which is why I was insanely upset that the following year they would lose the license because they were supposed to give us a Supers set. There's prototypes for a Queen Nehelenia doll, Super Sailor Chibi Moon, a different Super Sailor Moon, and the Amazonas Quartet. And I've seen pictures of them here and there online. They never made it into production. Toei revoked the license, and then Irwin would go belly up after a couple more batches of Dragon Ball Z figures that were also pretty awesome. I love Sailor V, got all the manga from 2003, part of Tokyo Pop and the Eternal Sailor Moon manga. Love seeing a fellow manga lover. But anywho, and of course, if you are a Super Sentai fan, then you know Toei has a long history of screwing up. Have you guys heard about what's going on with the Black Unicorn? Because I have words. But, anywho, not for her. I will champion her. She just made a mistake, but another story. Anywho, so I didn't know that this was like the fireworks before the end of the show for Irwin. All I knew was that they were just kicking ass with amazing dolls. Oh, Princess Serenity was the other one I forgot. A gorgeous Princess Serenity, and I have her too. So anywho, Irwin was hot in 2000. And here's another thing about this particular year for Sailor Moon doll collecting. This used to be $10. The regular price was $10. If you wanted an 11.5-inch Sailor Moon doll, $10. If you wanted the 6-inch dolls, they were about $6 or $7. Yes, I know, 6, 7, haha. They were about $6 or $7 depending on your store. And the outers were usually $10 unless you went online. Like when they sold out in my stores, I had to go to this place. It doesn't exist anymore. It was a website called Sailor Moon Specialty Store. And that was $20 plus shipping for Sailor Pluto. But you were never going to spend more than $20 on either the wand or Luna P or any of the dolls. So this was like the best we were ever going to have for doll collecting. The only three things that were truthfully expensive were the gift sets, you know, Mini Moon with her mom or Mini Moon with a big version of her. Those could run $50 and they were only sold at the comic book store, and Amazing Fantasy was pretty snarky to me when I bought her. Because I got the Wicked Lady set, and then I bought the other one on eBay 1,000 years later. And, of course, Saturn and Super Sailor Moon. But the rest of them were in the $10 range usually. So, it's Black Friday 2000. Now, I only saw the first ad, so I erroneously thought there was only going to be one Black Friday. I didn't know what I was in for. We had, like I said, 6 weeks of Black Friday. I guess the groundhog saw his shadow. I think that's how it works, you know? So, what my mom and I used to do when I was a kid is we would play a game. She would either put stuff on layaway, or if it was cheap, she would buy stuff outright and then hide it in the Christmas closet where I'm not allowed to go on pain of death. I still don't even know where this is, maybe Narnia somewhere. And I knew ahead of time what I was going to get for Christmas, but I helped pick out the gifts. She knew that she was always getting the right ones. We would make a game out of it, and then I just had to be really super good so that nothing got returned, you know? So, um, we did all of our Christmas shopping as a family. It would be she and me and my little brother. I'm sorry about the grammar there. So, um, we're going around to our rounds of Black Friday. In the first couple weeks of Black Friday, it was straight madness. When I picked out this little beauty and Sailor Venus, went to Kmart. If you don't know what Kmart is, ask your mom and dad. And there were people climbing, think Spider-Man, climbing the shelves to get to whatever dolls or action figures or play sets that they wanted. And I got beaten on my back with a cane by a little old lady because I grabbed Sailor Neptune. And then I got my ankle bit, and I had this little kid climb on me, and she was trying to get at Sailor Moon. If she's here, then that means I won. Neptune's over there, by the way. I'm just not digging everybody out because my hubby's watching the baby, and I don't feel like waking him up. So, several weeks, we go in, and Black Friday, by the way, you'd think that would just be on Fridays. No, that was all 7 days of the week. That was every day ending in the letter Y. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of them. People were losing their minds over consumerism because this was the last time on planet Earth anything was going to be cheap. Because the following year, doll collecting was not going to be affordable for me. Do I remember Woolworths? All of my Cardcaptor Sakura dolls came from Woolworths. Yes, and I miss them every day. That was the only place on planet Earth I could get the full Cardcaptor Sakura set. Yes, I miss them. They also had some cool Hello Kitty plushies. They're behind the camera. Anyway, so each week, the violence kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then, the second to last week that I'm putting up with this, things went straight madness. So the first of the two instances I'm going to tell you about happened at Kmart, where everything good happened again. This was the Kmart in Homewood, Illinois, which is now, ironically, a Walmart. I drove past there a couple years ago and it blew my mind. And before it was a Kmart or a Walmart, it used to be a mall, and that's where my parents met. Now, that's some strangeness. That's some juju right there. So, anywho, I go to Kmart, and my mom saw some cute clothes that she wanted to try. She had just lost a ton of weight, and she was starting a brand new job, so she wanted to go look at cute clothes for mommies. So that just left me with my little brother. And I decided, since it's just you and me, I'm going to do the fair thing. We're going to go get your toys first, and we'll get my toys second. And Orion was cool with that. So I go to the action figure aisle, and I got him some WWE figures and a lone Mega Man figure. It was like the only Mega Man figure in the entire universe. And I think like one or two little Pokemon things. They were like school supplies, but you could play with them like a toy too. I have two in a bin behind the camera, and he has two in a storage somewhere. Super cute. And then he was happy. He was happy. Probably the easiest kid in the world to shop for. So we go to the next aisle, and what do I see? I see a handful of Irwin dolls left. So they've got some Sailor Moon, and they've got the 6-inch dolls that I've already picked out, and way in the back, behind the only other Neptune I'd ever seen in my life, outside the one that's over there, is a Tuxedo Mask doll. And it looks like Tuxedo Mask, and I've got to preface that because I think I put it up as a short a few days ago. Tuxedo Mask has not had it easy. While the plushies consistently look like Tuxedo Mask, no matter what. I mean, I've got one right here. This is a Supers he's used, so I didn't get his mask. But I love him because he permanently has the middle finger. So he's my Tuxedo Mask. But like the plushies worldwide, Tuxedo Mask plushies always look good. They always look like Mamoru. So I never have a problem finding a Tuxedo Mask plushie that looks like him. Tuxedo Mask figurines and action figures. He has two of them. They look like him. He's got the black hair and the cape, the hat, everything looks just like him. I never have a problem with this. Fashion dolls are not always easy. The two that were released in Japan, before Pull-Up got a hold of it, 1,000 years later, they gave him brown hair. And one gave him like this weird sort of orangey lipstick. And they made him look even older than he already is in the 90s anime. Like, he looks 30. One of them looks 30. So I was just like, okay. There was a prototype Tuxedo Mask figure that I don't think we ever got from Bandai North America, where he has poofy brown hair. It's almost a mullet. It's like a baby mullet. It's like a bullet. And he kind of looks like the Japanese dolls. And his rose is like supersized. And then there's like a couple of dolls that they have the black hair, but they've got lipstick, and his hair poofs up after a while. It looks like Chairman Kaga from Iron Chef. If you don't know what that is, it's on Tubi. But like, finding Tuxedo Mask dolls that look like Tuxedo Mask is kind of hard. This one looks like Tuxedo Mask. His hair is kept down. It's black. It's not brown. He doesn't have lipstick on. And it's a basically painted face, but it works so well with the face mold. And he's got these gold buttons on his outfit, this big black and red cape, and he's perfect. Just the way a Tuxedo Mask doll should look. It's an Irwin 99 to 2000 Tuxedo Mask. Perfection. And there's a 7-inch version because the 6-inch dolls are shorter than him. So, got the 7-inch version of him. Where is he? He's over there, actually. I put him in a different case. And then there's this 12-inch, Ken doll-sized Tuxedo Mask, who is perfect. So, he's $10, and he's the only one. And I guess I knew in my gut this was going to be like make it or break it time, because I would not see another one of these until eBay way when I'm in my late 20s. I was never going to have this moment again. I was never going to see an in-box Tuxedo Mask doll ever again, rest of my life. So naturally, I grabbed Tuxedo Mask because, hey, I already got Sailor Moon waiting at home. She's going to need Tuxedo Mask. Otherwise, Chibi Moon's existence is going to be mega questionable. So, I grabbed Tuxedo Mask. I put him in the shopping cart. Orion notices that the next aisle over, there's more action figures, and these look kind of cool. I'm like, I like action figures too. So we go to the next aisle. And he saw some different WWE figures. They were on like a deep clearance discount because a bunch of people got fired that year. So we picked out some wrestlers, and there was like one other figure that he wanted that year that was kind of cool too. It had like a mazillion accessories, whatever. So I go to put, it's on a high shelf though, and he can't reach yet. So I'm like, no biggie. So I reach up, I grab Ric Flair. It was Ric Flair. Woo! So I go and I grab a Ric Flair figure, and I grab this other figure from whatever TV show it was Johnny Quest. This thing had been off the air for 2 years. That's what it was. It was like the last Johnny Quest figure he had. So I grab Johnny Quest, and I grab Ric Flair, and I go to put them in the cart, and my brother screams. Before I have a chance to turn around and look at the cart, he goes, "Somebody's in our cart! Someone's stealing from us!" And I turn, and there's this huge, huge woman. Like, she is built like a wrestler. And she's trying to steal stuff out of our cart. And I'm like, the nerve. So I smacked her hand. And I was like, what do you think you're doing? You're taking from 2 kids. What's wrong with you? And I see that she's got Tuxedo Mask, so I snatch him back. And I put him in the cart, and I put all the figures over him. Like, I've got all these wrestlers protecting Tuxedo Mask. Because in my head, this works. And she was like, ain't you too old to be playing with dolls? And I was like, aren't you too old to be stealing from children? Who raised you? So I'm pushing the wrestlers further around Tuxedo Mask, and something goes in my shoulder, and it really hurts. There is this white hot pain. Now, truth be told, I don't all the way realize what's happening yet, because I have been suffering from arthritis since I was a little girl, but I wasn't going to be diagnosed till I was 16. I am 13 here. and something just went into my shoulder. So at first I'm thinking, oh, this must be one of those arthritic flares my mom warned me about. My brother screams. He's not really a screamer. He's screaming. Something's bad. And I look at I didn't look up yet. I looked down, and there's a trickle of blood going down my arm. And I'm like, huh. And I look, this lady had the world's longest fingernail, and she had it like mega filed to a point. She stabbed me in my shoulder. And I don't know if it'll show up in the camera because it has healed over time. Okay, you see that dot? That's where I got stabbed. And apparently that was an artery because she nicked it pretty good. And there's blood all over my arm now. So I am in searing white hot pain, but you're not getting Tuxedo Mask. So now I am inclined to hang onto the cart and cover the cart as though I'm like a blanket. And she's screaming, give me Tuxedo Mask, give me Tuxedo Mask. And I was like, screw off, Queen Beryl. The answer's no. And I'm hanging onto the cart and I'm bleeding. Ryan has gone to the women's section to go get my mom. And I don't hear them coming back behind me because this lady's screaming at me too loudly, I want Tuxedo Mask, I want Tuxedo Mask. I was like, people in hell want ice water, leave me alone. My mom shows up behind her. She's like, what the hell are you doing to my daughter? She dislodges her fingernail from me, and I go, psst. Now I'm really losing some blood. And my brother is screaming because I had never lost this much blood before. And he's looking around to see if we've got like tissue or paper towel or first aid or something on his person or in his jacket to patch me up. I'm still not letting go of the cart, by the way. And this lady dislodges from me, and my blood is in her fingernail. And she's like, oh, come on, I was just playing. My mom takes off her earrings, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to play a game too. I'm going to play too. Off come the shoes. Mom had some Vaseline in her pocket. Vaseline goes on the cheeks. I'm going to play too. On her knuckles. She starts chasing this woman. She starts chasing like Tom and Jerry time, chasing this woman up and down through every single aisle. And this lady almost makes it to the exit, and Kmart security comes up and clothesline for her. Bam, down she goes. Apparently, before she stabbed me, this lady was wanted. I do Black Friday online. Yeah, I don't even do that anymore. This lady, before she stabbed me, the security guard at Kmart was looking for her because she punched a baby in the parking lot over a Power Ranger. And it wasn't even like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This was Lightspeed Rescue. She punched a baby over Lightspeed Rescue. I can't even process the words that just fell out of my face, but that's what she did. So she gets arrested on the spot. A lovely police officer comes and takes her statements, whatever. And, I have a permanent scar on my shoulder, but I also have Tuxedo Mask. Look at him, isn't he cute? And check this out. Like, his glasses even lift up. They're even removable too. I didn't even know that. So yeah, I may have a permanent scar on my shoulder, but Usagi has her husband. So I think I win. And that wasn't the only crazy story that happened that year. So the following week, I'm patched up and I'm healing. I'm going to be fine. Not much medical intervention. Thank God, because my insurance was not good at all. So the following week, we go to Chicago Ridge Mall, which is still standing, but I would not send my worst enemy there. Okay, maybe I would, but for the sake of legality, maybe I shouldn't. Anywho, so we go to Chicago Ridge Mall. It is the final week of Black Friday. We promise. Because after this is Christmas. That's how long this thing lasted. We went straight from like Thanksgiving all the way to like days before Christmas Eve. So This is absolutely, it's the final countdown. That's all I can sing because they will charge me $250,000. I learned that from a wrestler. This is the final ever Black Friday. Now, I erroneously thought we were done with Black Friday by this point because after 6 weeks, whatever the stores have, you bought it. There's nothing left. Hi, Hikari. I work on Black Friday. I work at Walmart. Oh, God bless you. At least I'm an online shopper, not a cashier anymore. Like I said earlier in this video, Hikari, my mom used to work Black Friday at Walmart, and a coworker of hers was found dead in the freezer. So I just don't. I just don't. And this next story is definitely another reason why I don't with Black Friday. So I thought, erroneously, that whatever was going to be bought has been bought by this point, so we can just be vultures and scavenge whatever's left behind, because usually they leave behind like the clearance stuff, right? Let's see. Hi, Holden. Didn't know you went through that. Violent Karen lady should have minded her own business and acted her age. At least you saved Tuxedo Mask. Yeah, folks. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, my mom's coworker was found in the ice case with the eggs. And they docked his pay for dying on the spot. Real nice of you, Walmart. Real nice. But anywho, so I thought everything was going to be done. This was the final Black Friday sale of 2000. And I figured we could just move peacefully to the rest of the new millennium without any more hassle. I'm dumb for even thinking that. So we go to the Chicago Ridge Mall. And at first, we are lulled into a false sense of security. It's quiet at the mall. All the other stores that we hit for our last minute gifts for all the other people in the family and friend unit, they're all quiet, they're well stocked, and everything is cheap, so we get what we want. The last store in the universe is KB Toys. And I miss them. I used to get so much Sailor Moon stuff from there. That was actually where I first got my Sailor Moon doll collection, back when they had the Bondi North America ones. So we're going to my favorite toy store. And at first, because the rest of the mall is silent, I'm thinking, we'll just mosey on to KB Toys, pick a few things out, mosey on out. We've got some KB Toy coupons from the newspaper. Only Sailor Moon doll I have is the frog face Irwin Venus, technically at my aunt's house for the time being. I do have one. I love collecting those. And I think we're going to be all right. You know, and I swear to God, it was like a zombie movie. I should have remembered from watching horror movies that this was the false quiet. This was the calm before the storm. Because we get closer and closer towards KB Toys, and the best way I can describe this sound is like it's starting to sound like a melee, and I'm like, uh-oh, I know this sound. And the closer we get, the more we see that there is like this puff. Like something out of Looney Tune cartoons. You see like a puff, it's like dirt and whatever. It's not even discernible. It's not like cloud or dust or anything. It's just like a puff. And then I see somebody go with a Teddy Ruxpin remake. And I see somebody fly on top and punch him in the face. And there is a brawl in front of KB Toys. And my brother looks up and he's like, Mama? And my mom has said a prayer. And he looks up at me, Corey? And I've got the war paint on. All right. I'm all healed up from being stabbed the other week. Let's do this. And we push his coat down to right about here. Okay, Belle-style dress. That's where we push our coats down. There's a reason for this, I promise. And we kissed him on the cheek. May the gods have mercy on your soul. Star David too, just to be on the safe side. We get to the opening and my mom says, on your mark, get set, go. I grab my brother's hand and we go running up and down the aisles. And I'm running. His job is to grab what it is we want. I'm grabbing stuff off the shelves. We're choosing only the cheap stuff. We're not being greedy about this. So we go to the first aisle, grab some Pokemon plushies. Go to the next aisle. I grabbed a Sailor Mercury and a Sailor Mars. Go to the next aisle. I grabbed a Mega Man and some professional wrestling figures, and like the last stragglers of the WCW toys right before they go out of business. Go to the next aisle. We grab some video game stuff. Okay, it is not a very big store. We are just moments away from meeting my mom at the checkout. Orion screams, "Somebody's got me! Somebody's got me!" And I look, and there is another giant woman, and she's a battle tank. And she's reaching over my brother, and she's like, "Give me Jigglypuff! I want Jigglypuff!" And my little brother is screaming. He's hanging on to this set. They sold it at KB, and they sold it at Big Lots. You could get like big Pokemon figures. They were solid plastic. It was like Charizard and Meowth in one set, and then Eevee and Jigglypuff in another set. We already had the first set, so he's holding on to the second set. And he's like, "No, leave me alone, it's Pokemon." And she's like, "Give me Jigglypuff, I must have Jigglypuff." And I go, "Orion, throw your arms back." And he does, and right as she grabs his jacket, so he throws his arms back, she tumbles backwards with his jacket. He scoops up the Pokemon. I scoop him up, and I go, "Go on!" And like a football, I throw him at my mom. He tumbles across the floor with the Pokemon. "Here!" My mom grabs the Pokemon. I grab the rest of... He was facing up against a raging Snorlax. Very much. I grab the rest of what my brother had. I am like throwing all the stuff that my brother collected and that I had collected at my mom. My mom is like football catching all of it. The KB Toys cashier should have gotten an award because she was on her A game. She was grabbing every toy, all going into these giant bags. And I grab my brother's jacket and I smack the lady. I run back. I dress my brother back up because it's ice cold outside. We each grab some bags, and she gets back up, and she's like, "I'm going to take your Jigglypuff." And she starts barreling for us, and we start running out of there. And we are darting through the entire mall, because my mom wanted to park in the back of the mall. And we get into the rental car, we throw all the toys in the back seat with Orion, and we slam the door shut on him. I jump into one seat, my mom gets in the driver's seat, buckles up, my brother is screaming and pointing. This lady jumped on the windshield. Boom, sideways. "Give me Jigglypuff! Give me Jigglypuff!" My mom goes, "Ah!" And she hits the windshield wipers, and the windshield wipers go, and they go into the lady's head. She's like, finally pushes her off. She backs all the way out as the second gaggle of her friends comes up behind her. "We'll get Jigglypuff! We'll take Jigglypuff from that kid!" My mom spins the car around to push everybody back, and we zoom out of there like bats out of hell, and we never go back there again. And that is why I am begging you never to do Black Friday. Pretty please with sugar on the top, don't do Black Friday. Because each year, there's not a single year of my life that I've not seen somebody getting pushed down, getting stabbed, getting shot, getting mangled, all for something that's going to go on clearance come January. I mean, that's the reality of it. Whatever we want for Christmas will be on clearance in January. It happens every year. I mean, the only things that don't really go on clearance have been like Mario games and some mainline Pokemon games. But everything else goes on clearance because it's all fashion at the end. And trends come and go just as fashion does. So I'm just like begging any of you who's watching. I know you're seeing the same ads as me. There's probably going to be one after this video, even though YouTube never monetized me, which is insane that they're putting ads on me. But just promise me you will not do Black Friday. When that day happens, just go to bed. When you're done with your Thanksgiving turkey, go to bed. You're going to go, Saggy Kitty, you're going to go for Cyber Monday. Angel, never went shopping on Black Friday ever. Yeah, keep not doing that. Cyber Monday, the only thing I have to say is be careful because the websites love crashing. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to grab some links though. If you do want to do Cyber Monday or your online Black Friday shopping or just any shopping the rest of the calendar, I do have a lot of stuff on Amazon. I've got books for sale. I have apparel for sale. So I'm going to put a link in the comments section for this video. And if you will, do me a solid and check out what I have to sell, I would really super appreciate it, because if you buy anything from me from my Amazon store or from my Amazon books or from bookshop.org, I'm going to put a link for that too. And Bam Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, I make money off of that. And it's stuff that I drew, it's stuff that I wrote, and I didn't use AI and I didn't cheat. So if you want to add at least one item of mine to your shopping cart, that would mean a lot to me. Holden says, that must have been hell. I went through some worse Black Fridays. Pleaded with my own folks one time. I don't want to do that, but they don't listen. I'm sorry to hear that they don't listen. No one should ever do Black Friday ever again. But anywho, I'm going to turn off the video pretty soon and go get those links ready. And thank you so much for hearing my plea. Please consider skipping Black Friday all of the years of your life. And don't put yourself or your significant other or your friends or your family through it, because it's just not worth it. Everything goes on clearance in January. Just remember that. It's all going on clearance in January, February at the latest. But anywho, I'm going to get off this video. Thank you so much for hearing my stories, and I will see you folks soon.